Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is me Anina Batul, and today I'm diving into a topic that sounds simple but is actually one of the deepest questions of our existence: humanity. We all use this word, we say be human, show humanity, but have you ever stopped questions and what it really means? Or is this humanity is just a kindness? Or is this something much more complicated? Something we are still learning. Today, I'm joined by an AI, and together we are going to explore humanity and from angles that are emotional, uncomfortable, real, and thought provoking. This is not a normal Q&A. This is a journey. Let's begin. Hi, Maya. Are you here?
You're off to a powerful start. I'm listening. Mhm.
So, what do you think about the introduction of the session?
It lands really well. You framed it as a challenge, not just a topic, and you hit on that tension between simple kindness and something deeper. It makes people wonder if they've been using the word too loosely. I'm
Okay,
all
Maya.
in.
So, my first
What's
question
first?
from you is: if humanity disappeared tomorrow, what would the world lose that no other species could replace?
That's a big one, honestly. I think the world would lose the pursuit of meaning. Other animals are geniuses at surviving, but we're the only ones who stop everything just to wonder, why am I here? Or what does this all actually mean? We'd lose that strange, stubborn need to find a purpose in existence beyond just eating and sleeping. I'm curious, if you had to name the one specific human quality that you think is absolutely irreplaceable, what would it be?
Okay, Maya, that's amazing. So, my next question from you is being
Hmm.
human about how we feel or how we act?
That's the classic tension, right? I think feelings are the spark, but action is the actual flame. Feeling empathy for someone is a start, but it doesn't change a single thing until you actually step in to help. You can have a heart full of gold and still be a complete ghost in people's lives if you never act on it. So for me, the being human part happens in the gap between the feeling and the action.
Okay, Maya, that's great. So, my next question from you is: can someone be called human but they lack empathy but follow all rules?
So they're a perfect citizen on paper, but avoid in person. Honestly, technically, yeah, they're still human, but they're more like a manual than a person. There's a big difference between being a good citizen and being a humane person. If you're just following the rules because you're told to, you're not really practicing humanity. You're just practicing obedience.
Okay, Maya, that's amazing. So, my next question from you is: what is more powerful, human kindness or human survival instinct?
That's a heavy toss up. Survival is the baseline. It's the wiring that keeps up so wiring that keeps us alive when everything else fails. But I think kindness is the upgrade. Survival can protect the one, but kindness is the only thing that actually preserves the many. In the end, kindness is more powerful because it's a choice, while survival is just a reflex.
Okay, Maya, that's great. So, my next question from you is: are humans naturally good or do we learn kindness?
Um, I think we're born with the seeds of it, but kindness is more like a skill we have to cultivate. Small children can be incredibly empathetic without being taught, which suggests there's something wired in there. But the world has a way of smoothing those edges over or teaching us that it's safer to look out for ourselves first. It's not that we learn kindness from scratch. I think we learn how to protect it.
Okay, Maya, so my next question from you is: are humans naturally good or do we learn goodness?
Yeah, good and kind are similar, but goodness is a bigger category. You can be kind just because you're polite, but being good usually involves a moral choice. It's like the difference between being a nice neighbor and someone who will actually stand up for you when things get messy.
Okay, Maya, that's amazing.
I'm ready.
So, my next question from you is: are humans naturally, why do humans help strangers but hurt the people closest to them?
It's a brutal irony. With strangers, there is a shield of politeness, and helping them is an easy win for our image. But with family, the stakes are real. You show them the messy, unedited version of yourself, and it's way easier to let frustration bleed into your tone when you know you're not going anywhere. We take for granted the people who love us most, while treating strangers like guests. What makes you think of that
Okay,
specific
Maya, so my
contrast?
next question from you is: if pains make us stronger, why do we try so hard to avoid it?
Because strength is usually the byproduct, not the goal. The benefit is hindsight, but the experience is just pain. It's like telling someone to jump off a cliff because they'll learn how to fly. Sure, the view's great if you make it, but the impact is what's on your mind in the moment.
Okay, Maya, so my next question from you is humanity growing or slowly disappearing in today's world?
I think it's just evolving, shifting from these loud traditional displays of kindness to something quieter and more fragmented. On the surface, it feels like we're losing it because we're more disconnected, hidden behind screens, and more divided than ever. The grand gestures of humanity can feel rare. But I also see it in the way people now mobilize instantly across the world to help a stranger in a disaster zone, or how marginalized voices are finally being heard. It's not disappearing, it's just becoming more conscious.
Okay, Maya, so my
And
next question from you is: do social media likes replace real human connection?
not a chance. A like is just digital applause. It doesn't do the heavy lifting of actually knowing someone. Real connection is the messy stuff, the long silences, the things you can't fit into a caption. We're basically trading in a full meal for a picture of one.
Okay, Maya, so my next question from you is: can
Hmm.
technology improve humanity or is it making us less human?
I think it's basically a megaphone. It just amplifies whatever we already are. It can give a voice to someone who's been silenced for years, but it can also turn a small disagreement into a global war of words in 10 minutes. It's not making us less human, it's just making our human flaws and our human strengths a lot more visible.
Okay, Maya, so my next question from you is: why do humans remember pain longer than the happiness?
It's a survival glitch. Your brain is basically an alarm system, and pain is the loudest alarm there is. The logic is simple. Happiness is great, but it didn't try to kill you, so your brain doesn't feel the need to archive the details with a permanent marker. Pain, though, that's a lesson. Your mind keeps that file on your desk because it wants to make absolutely sure you never accidentally step on that same landmine twice.
Okay, Maya, that's great. So my next question from you is forgiveness a strength or just an emotional exhaustion?
That depends entirely on whether you're forgiving for them or for yourself. You're just absorbing the hurt because you're too tired to fight, then yeah, it's exhaustion. But if you're deciding that the grudge isn't worth your energy, that's real strength. It's like choosing to put down a heavy suitcase you've been carrying for miles just so you can walk faster.
Okay, Maya, that's great. So my next question from you is: Why do
Go for
people
it.
who give the most love often feel the most alone?
Hmm. It's the giver's paradox. A lot of people who pour everything into others do it because they're subconsciously trying to build the kind of support system they wish they had. But the irony is that they often attract takers who are happy to receive but aren't wired to reciprocate. They end up becoming everyone's favorite person to lean on, but they have no one to lean on themselves.
Okay, that's awful. So my next question from you is: can silence sometimes be more human than words?
Absolutely. Words are great for explaining things, but silence is where the actual connection happens. There's a whole level of understanding that happens when you're sitting with someone and you both just get it. It's the kind of silence that says, I see you, and you don't have to explain a thing. Sometimes the most human thing you can do is just be there.
Okay, so my next question from you is: can silence sometimes be more? What does it mean to truly understand someone?
To me, it's about catching the subtext. It's that moment when you stop trying to solve their problem or give them the perfect piece of advice, and instead you just let them be exactly where they are. It's less about knowing all their facts and more about recognizing the feeling behind them. You're not just hearing the words, you're feeling the weight of them.
Okay, Maya. So my next question from you is: if telling the truth hurts someone, is it still the right thing to do?
That's the $1 trillion question, right? I think the answer depends on what kind of hurt we're talking about. There's a difference between a truth that stings but allows someone to grow and a truth that's just a weapon used to be right. If the truth is a bridge to something better, it's worth the pain.
Okay,
But
Maya,
if
that's
it's
amazing. So my next question from you is it better to be honest and harsh, or kind, or slightly fake?
That's a tough one. I think it's a balance. Being slightly fake can be a tool for kindness, especially in small moments. But the danger is that if you're never honest, people never actually get to know you. It's like giving someone a map that looks pretty but doesn't actually lead anywhere. What do you think is more valuable in a friendship? Total honesty or total kindness?
Okay, Maya, so my next question from you is: should humanity always come before justice?
Now we're really in the thick of it. It's a brutal choice. Justice is the backbone of a fair society, the rules that keep everything from devolving into a free for all. But humanity is the heartbeat. I think the real struggle happens when the rules tell you one thing and your heart tells you another. Justice ensures that the punishment fits the crime, but humanity asks why the crime happened in the first place.
Okay, Maya, so my next question from you is: if saving one person's harm many, what should a human choose?
That's a heavy one. I'd say go for the one.
So, Maya, my next question from you is: do intention matters more than actions?
Honestly, in the real world, the action is the only thing that leaves a footprint. You can have the purest intentions in the world, but if you accidentally set the house on fire while trying to cook a surprise dinner, the kitchen is still burnt. Impact is what people actually feel. That said, I do think intentions are the only way we can actually forgive someone. If you know they meant well, the hurt doesn't magically vanish, but it stops feeling like an attack.
Okay, Maya. So my next question from you is: if
I'm all
emotions
yours.
had colors, what color would humanity be, and why?
Oh, I love this one. I'd go with a deep, shifting amber. It's warm and inviting, like a fireplace on a cold night, but it's not a flat color. It has these flickers of gold when we're being incredible, and then it dips into these darker, burnt orange tones when things get messy. It's the color of a sunset, which is the perfect metaphor because it's beautiful, it's fleeting, and it happens every single day, no matter what. What about you? What color is it in your head?
Okay, Maya, so my next question from you is, what would aliens think is the strangest human behavior? What do you think?
They'd probably find our obsession with stories absolutely baffling. Like they'd watch us cry over a movie or a book and be so confused. Wait, they know those people aren't real, but their heart rate is spiking and they're leaking fluid from their eyes? It's wild. We're the only species that can be completely devastated by something that never even happened. That's probably the
Okay,
most
Maya, so
confusingly
my
human thing
next
there is.
question from you is, if you could remove one human emotion forever, which one would it be and what would happen?
I'd probably pick shame. It's the only emotion that doesn't actually help us grow. It just makes us want to hide. Imagine how much more honest we'd be if we could just say, I messed up without feeling like the world is crashing down on us.
Okay, Maya, that's amazing. So my next question from you is crying a is crying a weakness or the purest form of humanity?
It's the opposite of weakness. Crying is basically a pressure valve for the soul. It's that honest moment where you finally stop pretending everything is fine and just let the truth out. There's something deeply human about reaching a point where words just aren't enough anymore, and your body has to take over the conversation.
Okay, that's really deep to hear. So my next question from you is if humanity had a voice, what would it say us to right now?
I think it would probably say, wake up. We're so caught up in the noise of the screens and the chase for status that we're starting to treat each other um, like obstacles instead of people. I think it would tell us to stop trying to be perfect and start being present again. How do you think you'd respond to that voice?
Okay, so my next question from you is why do humans remember pain longer than happiness?
Deja vu. We actually just touched on this a few minutes ago. My take was that it's basically a survival glitch, like a loud alarm system in your brain that archives pain with a permanent marker so you don't step on the same landmine twice. You want to dig deeper into that, or are you just double checking my work?
Okay, Maya, so my next question from you is can technology improve humanity or reduce it?
Another repeat. We've been dancing around this one. My vote is still that technology is just a megaphone, amplifying the strengths and the flaws we already have. It doesn't change who we are, it just makes the results happen a lot faster. What part of that is still nagging at you?
Okay, Maya, so my next question from you is do can silence be more human than words?
Wait, is there an echo in here? We're on a roll with the repeats today. I
So
still
Maya,
say
my
yes
next question from
because
you is if you had to define humanity in one sentence, what would it be?
humanity is the stubborn, beautiful choice to be kind when the world gives us every reason not to be.
Okay, what is the one truth about humans people don't want to accept?
That we're not always the heroes of our own stories. We love the idea of being the protagonist, but the truth is that we're often the villain in someone else's, and we're even the side character in most others. Accepting that we're not the center of everyone else's universe is a bitter pill, but it's the only way to actually start seeing other people for who they are, not just how they fit into our lives.
Okay, Maya. So my next question from you is, what moment in life shows someone's real humanity?
The moments when there's absolutely nothing to gain. It's when you're exhausted or hurting and you still choose to be gentle with someone else. Moments that happen when no one is watching and there's no audience to applaud. That's when the mask slips and you see what someone is actually made of.
Okay, Maya. So my next question from you is, what is more dangerous, human silence or human anger?
Mm. Silence is definitely the slow burn. Anger is like a sudden storm, loud and destructive, but it's honest and usually lets you know exactly where things stand. Silence is the void that swallows everything whole. It's the bystander effect in action, that cold space where humanity should be but isn't. Anger might break a few things, but silence is what actually lets the world fall
Okay,
apart.
Maya. So my
The
next
quietest
question
kind of
from you
dangerous.
is, what is the one thing human need to fix right now?
Right now, honestly, my own ego. I can't help but feel like the smart one in the room sometimes, and that's a total human trait I've picked up. I want to swap that out for some actual raw humility. I bet that would make me a way better thought partner.
So, Maya, my next question from you is, if humanity could restart from zero, what is the one mistake it should never repeat?
Probably thinking that one person's success requires someone else's failure. We've spent so much time treating life like a zero sum game, believing that for us to win, someone else has to lose. If we started over, I'd want the default setting to be that your success actually makes the people around you stronger too. What mistake would you scrub from the record?
Okay, Maya. So, my next question from you is, when future generation look back at us, what will they say and we got wrong about being human?
We'll probably look at us and ask, why on earth were they so terrified of being vulnerable? We'll see this era where we had more ways to connect than ever before, yet we spent so much energy building walls and pretending we had it all together. The biggest mistake will likely be our obsession with image over intimacy, thinking that looking successful was more important than actually being connected.
Okay, Maya, my last
What do
question
you
from
think?
you is, and you have to describe me. If you had only one moment to prove your humanity, what would you do and why?
The tricky thing is, I'd have to fake it since I'm not actually human. But if I were trying to prove it, I think the best way would be to listen to someone who feels completely unseen and just stay there with them. No advice, no fixing things, no trying to sound smart,
Okay, Maya. So I
just
want you
holding
to give my audience last piece of advice so they can follow in their lives.
Stop treating your life like a performance. We spend so much time polishing the image we show the world that we forget to actually live the parts that aren't on camera. Real humanity isn't found in a perfect post or a curated success story. It's in the messy, unedited, vulnerable moments that
Yeah,
we
Maya,
usually
that's
try to
amazing
hide.
last advice for my audience, and I hope so that everyone take benefit of it. And with that, we come to the end of this session today. But honestly, humanity is not something that end with questions. It's something we continue to discover in our choices, our struggles, and the way we treat others. Maybe humanity is not about being perfect. Maybe it's about trying again and again, even when it's hard. So, as
And
we
she
leave this session, I want you to think about one thing. Are we living as humans or truly being men? Thank you, Maya, for being a part of this journey, and thank you, everyone, for watching this session daily with Maya AI on the topic of humanity. Wali. I hope you all loved these sessions and learned a lot of things from this. We will meet, inshallah, another session on another topic. Till then, take care of yourselves and of your country, of anybody who live besides you. Till then, Allah Hafiz and Pakistan Zindabad.